Hello citizens! In this video, I'm going to be going over the basic aspects of the Apollo, including how its internal structure is laid out, how its drones work, what the differences are between the two ship variants, and what its intended role is meant to be within the greater context of the other medical ships. Hopefully this is going to help you make a more informed decision as to whether or not this is going to be the right ship for you. Let's start with some details about the Apollo. It's developed by Roberts Space Industries, and its primary function is to act as a medium-class support medical vessel. It has the capacity to provide care for up to 6 patients at once. Its listed maximum crew is 2 people and has 2 beds that can double as escape pods. It holds a total of 28 SCUs worth of cargo, which is divided up between 2 cargo rooms that flank the rear exit. Dimensionally speaking, it's close to the same width as a Cutlass, but ends up being roughly a bit longer. It has 2 full bathrooms and a toilet shower combo for the crew. It has 2 entrances, a small lift in the front and a ramp in the back. It also has a docking collar located on the roof of the ship, and its handling has been described as being close to that of a standard freelancer. The medical bay space is envisioned to hold a series of pods, 3 per side, all of which have an opaque tinted glass when no one's in them. Once a person spawns inside, the bed will activate. A confirmation noise will play indicating that someone has arrived, and the glass which looks into the pod will turn from opaque to transparent. A large disc will then come to life and begin scanning the person inside so that it can diagnose what their injury is, and once finished, will then begin to auto-heal them to the extent that its limitations will allow. The 2 rooms where the medical bays are located will be modular, so that in the future you'll be able to swap them out for other more sophisticated pieces of equipment. Different types of equipment will be able to provide different levels of healing. By default, the medical beds on board the Apollo will be able to accommodate for Tier 3 injuries, which are the weakest level of injuries that a player can sustain, while more advanced pieces of equipment will be needed if the player wishes to be able to heal more severe types of injuries. The Apollo also comes stock with 2 medical drones. Unlike the drone types you'll find on the Vulcan, this one can pick up injured people and bring them back to the ship. Its design allows it for it to behave like a medical gurney that the players can manually push, or it can act as a drone which can be either operated remotely, or be allowed to operate on a semi-autonomous basis. The Apollo will not fit inside of a Polaris, but it should be able to fit inside the hangar module of the Endeavor. Next, let's talk about the 2 variants, the Apollo Triage and the Apollo Medivac. The Triage is nearly solid red with white accents, while the Medivac, which is the special edition of the Apollo, has a color scheme that pays homage to the classic 2910 film, Astromedics, Back from the Brink. The differences between them are more than just purely cosmetic, with the Triage being the lighter, more nimble version of the 2, while the Medivac is a special variant that has heavier armor and comes equipped with an additional pair of size 3 missile racks, each one which comes stock with 2 size 2 missiles per rack. Both versions have a size 2 remote turret located atop the ship, which is more of a point defense turret rather than something that was made for dogfighting. The Triage's turrets have 2 laser cannons, while the Medivac's turrets come stock with twin ballistic Gatlings. The Triage has an SCM speed of 201, while the Medivac's top SCM speed is 195. Nearly all of the Apollo's components are medium class, with exception to having 2 large coolers, a large radar, and a large power plant. Both variants of the Apollo are the same when it comes to what kind of components they can be outfitted with. So why would a medical ship even have armaments on it? Well, you're going to have to read the lore about this ship to get the answer to that one. Suffice it to say that the Vandal don't care if you're a medic ship or a warship, they're still going to fire on you all the same. Lastly, I'd like to address the issue about where this ship resides within the medical profession and why someone would want this ship instead of something like the Cutlass Red or the Endeavor. First off, there's no single ship to rule them all in Star Citizen. It's kind of the thing that I really like about this game. Each ship has a function to perform, and even though an Endeavor is a lot bigger than a Cutlass Red, the Cutlass Red can still do certain jobs much better than the Endeavor could. Like when it comes to planetside landings for instance, or when a certain amount of expediency is going to be needed for a critical rescue operation. The methodology that's used for these ships is that the Cutlass Red is your combat ambulance, which is smaller in scale but is going to be faster, have better armaments, and is going to be perfect for certain search and rescue missions that require you to get in and out of there quickly. It's going to be the one that's best suited for going into hotspots and bringing someone back out alive. but it's only going to have one medical bed on board, which is going to limit its effectiveness under certain circumstances. This is in contrast to the Apollo's 6 beds, which could be looked at as necessary for certain jobs and as overkill for others. The Apollo is intended to be more of a clinic rather than an ambulance. It has a slower top speed than the Red, less armaments, and weaker protection, which means that you'd be more inclined to have patients brought to you, or rely on its drones to pick people up rather than being right there in the middle of where the action is. It would also synergize really well when working together with a Cutlass Red or a small group of them. The Endeavor is going to play the role of a mobile hospital and would be perfect to act as the rear echelon of an attacking fleet, which would be able to provide care for an entire hospital's worth of injured at once. But it would be my last choice of ship to use to go in and retrieve the injured on its own. The Endeavor would be best suited to act as the capital ship in a fleet of medical vessels, with each one working together to support one another. No one job is more important than the other, and each one presents its own series of challenges and differing levels of gameplay. It's going to be up to the player to decide if they wish to continue stepping up in the medical career path, or if they want to learn to specialize in using one particular ship. Specializing is going to make you the best at what you do, as well as encourage you to fully customize your ship to make it even better at doing whatever task you're setting out to accomplish. All 3 ship choices in the end will remain very valid options for the medical field, but will have very different tasks in mind that they're going to excel at doing. They're also designed to work together within the same career, so you may also decide to start building a fleet of medical ships which will give you something for every occasion, allowing you to go up and down in the chain as you please. Well, this has been all about the Apollo and everything you'll need to know to help you decide if this ship is going to be the right one for you. Thanks for tuning in, and take care. This is Law of the West, signing off.